have you experienced discrimination or forms of microaggression in your career? Micromanaging,
Yeah,
microaggression, really over supervising.
over supervising. I mean, it really just comes down to, for me, more so of a systemic thing on, I feel, on how to be. I feel it's acceptable to be, belligerent over, certain things. Like, I feel like, as far as even like with hip hop music and stuff like that, like people want to push you towards what is kind of like, the, what's the word for the lack of a better word, to be ratchet and to be like unethical, or to say things that might not necessarily kind of like be true to you,
Or
might.
detrimental to the Black community, pretty much.
Yeah, and I feel like it's okay for you. It's okay. People, like white people, will come around and they'll support you being more ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And they'll support you being like stupid, or doing things that, you know may not necessarily, be true to, like the whole culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's all black. That's like any artist. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I've gotten some experiences of racism. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like all of it. I feel like a lot of it is more acceptable because we kind of play a part for us to be what is expected for us to be, like, by white
We
people.
buy into it. Is that what
We
you're saying?
buy into it. We buy into it because there's a paycheck there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Funny
most
you say this
rappers.
when people say this. I'm sorry to cut you off. People say, "Oh, it's the white labels making Black people do this," and then it's kind of like, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Were we doing it, and then they found a way to make money off it, or do they really? Are they really in these meetings, and are they really? Is it really that sinister? Well, that's what they really promote, and that's what they want us to put out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
Wow.
I mean, it's definitely constructed like from a long time ago. I feel like everything was baited, like the type of music and what it stands for, like, has been baited through white culture and implanted to tell us to do a certain thing. Like, when you had all these Black kids that were getting snatched up on the street and put in jail, it's part of that whole culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put more money into, a negative image, in order to kind of put that into a culture to keep more of this cult community in jail. People that follow this type of movement in jail. We make that cool for this type of audience. We market toward these people, keep it in the hoods, and they act like the music. You know what I'm saying?
It's just points because before a lot of music was money was in the music like it is now. Like back in the day, remember hip hop. I'm older, so like 85, 88, 89, 90, hip hop was like proud, and like if anything, the worst it was maybe some selling of some drugs, right? It was before that. It was more righteous. Then it was selling of the drugs. Then it became using of the drugs, and now the music is putting out a culture and promoting, being like a pillhead, just being tore up all the time. Songs about drugs, and you can't help when you hear that message over like a hot ass trap beat, right? That you're gonna, it's like almost like hypnotic, and it's like a subliminal message that's programming you basically. Like, it's not that bad, right? Because my fave is talking about it.
Right. And I mean, like, if you've experienced this and you're just speaking of like how your journey was to get off the street, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like when you have like with the evolution of trap music, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're giving money to a whole bunch of people talking about the same thing over and over again, but it's not necessarily building anything. And somebody who I really respect that I think is really dope is Lil Baby, because I mean, he didn't say so much, but he said enough to kind of shift the gears of music with the last record that he just put out, during this time. But I feel like a lot of people want, like, a lot of the rappers that are quote unquote more popular right now want to say things that are more meaningful, but it's like you can't say certain things and make it cool if society is not on that wave. Right now, society is kind of more on a wave to where their mind is a little bit more open and accepting of certain things that are a little bit more conscious. So it's like you got to take, now that the gates kind of open a little bit, you got to take that and you got to move towards it, to kind of help better and help everything become better and give us more opportunities to do things that are more beneficial to our community.
I think this time around, this is a major shift I've never seen before in my 47 years. So I'm thinking this might be the time that could change some attitudes.